Hey, what's up guys? Coach Eric here and welcome to another boxing educational video. We are here in the Fortune Boxing Gym in Brisbane and we will give you today 5 tips how to make your in-fight more successful. For that we got our special guest, Shiva Mishra. Shiva, my teammate. He has moved from New Zealand here to Brisbane, is now boxing in the Fortune Boxing Gym. His next fight is coming up at the 10th of September here in the Fortune Boxing Gym. So make sure if you haven't got any tickets yet, there is still tickets available. It's going to be a massive show together in cooperation, how do you call this? I don't know, infusion, Fortune Boxing and Tasman fighters. So let's go through the session and we will give you 5 tips how to make your in-fight more successful. Let's go. All right guys, tip number 1 in the in-fight is the right way of clinching. When you clinch, it can be very helpful to leave the danger zone. So when we are clinching, we're moving, we want to try to get into the inside, push the arms out, and we are able to attack the opponent from the inside, or even just get our head onto the shoulder to protect ourselves, not getting hit as clear as if we would be just stay in front of the opponent. The wrong way would be if I would start clinching and I get from the outside. I give him the overhand so he will be able to attack me from the inside. So it's going to look like this. If we move and he puts pressure on me, I try to get in and can get around him. So get yourself into the knees, get the hands in, lift the hands up, start from the inside and try to get around of the opponent. Which brings us to tip number 2. All right, tip number 2 in the in-fight is really important. When you both are putting pressure against each other, it's important always putting the pressure through the legs and not through the upper body. When you lock the legs out, this is when you're tired. You try not to lock the legs out, always be bent in the knees. And we want to press through the legs. The wrong way would be this one. Shiva shows you, I'm going to show you the wrong way and he's going to work his counter against me. So we're pushing. I try to push. I've been trying to push just through my upper body. He just steps back and gets the counter. But if I push through my legs and he steps back, I just have my legs here. I'm not falling over. So always when you press, have the shoulders above the hips and press through the legs. That generates more power than reaching in and using the arms. Which brings us to tip number 3. All right, tip number 3 is then when we're putting pressure against each other, like the opponent presses, I press, I can just step back, let the opponent fall through and catch him with a punch. It can be an uppercut, it can be step, can be straight hands, can be anything. Just important is to give the opponent the feeling of having a little bit of pressure, feel how he presses, and then step back so he falls through, and then bring your counter. Which leads us to tip number 4. Tip number 4 in the in-fight is you want to get always behind the lead hand. So when we're putting pressure against each other, try to let the opponent fall through by pulling with your rear hand, his lead hand in, and pushing him, letting him fall through. So we stay in there, we are in the in-fight. I get around him. I grab with my rear hand around the shoulder, pull him. Against the southpaw, you would use the lead hand, obviously. He would stay here. You want to bring your foot onto the outside and push him through, let him fall through, and attack from the outside. Always you want to try to get behind the back of the opponent. That's the safest space for yourself, and that's the unsafest space for the opponent. Which brings us to the last tip, tip number 5. If you have a really passive opponent who's just closing down and you can't attack because just his guard is very tight, we're staying in there, you can use your hands to pull down the lead hand and bring the cross over. Same on the opposite side, pull down the right hand, his rear hand, bring the left hand in. It works always over cross, it can work over the top. It can work also on the body. You can pull the elbow, bring the rib. Pull the elbow, bring the rib. But important is here not just staying and waiting for it. You want to kind of do it out of motion. So when we're going to move around and here you throw hands, your opponent is very passive. Pull down, boom, it comes in. Try not to just stay there and then throw it because it's a little bit more obvious. It's not the newest trick. But it's more effective if you try and work, then quickly put it together. It needs to be really fluent in motion. And that's the 5 tips to make your InFight more successful. Same as always, thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions in the comment section, let us know and tune in for next week's video. Thank you.